Thank you for tuning into my very first episode of The WoW Idea. I want to thank all of you in advance for listening to my thoughts and ideas for World of Warcraft. I want to do more videos, but my audience support would help me even more. So please interact with my videos, like, subscribe, do what you all do best. There's a lot more planned for this channel, but again, thank you for listening to this episode. If you're new here, I want to thank you and for just being here and talk with you on various topics of World of Warcraft that help you all get around some new ideas for the game that we mostly all love and enjoy. The developers come at the game with passion, and oftentimes I get the sense that they need our help or feedback. Therefore, I want to do my part, so sit back and relax as I share my thoughts on various topics. In my very first episode, I want to discuss classes in World of Warcraft. We all know the classes that we play, day in, day out, from warriors to druids and all the way to warlocks. And throughout the many years World of Warcraft has been out, there's been much discussion on introducing new classes, such as the Necromancer, the Bard, or even the Dark Ranger, and more. So I got to thinking about what World of Warcraft would look like if it was different. Different from the periodic classes being introduced every couple expansions or so. How introducing new classes would affect balance, and how the community perception would be for the short and long-term health of the game. First, let's start with Blizzard's slogan, which will be the centerpiece for almost every WoW video in the future. Dedicated to creating the most epic entertainment experiences ever. So how can we fit a new idea into this feature? Let's look at the current classes right now. We have 12 classes, whom all share at least one of three things together. Either are melee, hybrid, or ranged, then either healer, DPS, or tank, and of course, a mix of them all in between. Let's go take a step deeper and look at how those classes feel and why perhaps some other people are requesting addition of new ones. We all know that there is only so much you can play, so much you can do, so much you can master. So what's the solution? We can add new classes, we can add new specializations, we can add maybe a mix of both. However, there are pros and cons for each idea. But remember, we have to keep the motto of the most epic entertainment experiences ever. So what's epic? Close your eyes and think about what you want. You want a class that first and foremost takes you out of the real life for a moment. You want to feel a grind, and you want to feel a struggle of skill. And at the same time, you want to feel like you are a superhero in some aspects. Let's look at adding new classes. And really, if it were up to me, I'd add hundreds of new classes. However, the issue with this is that the balancing aspect of getting all classes on the same playing field can feel impossible. Or we can add more specializations. But again, classes will feel very diluted with so many spells, which again would be extremely hard to balance. How about subclasses? This is where I feel Blizzard can strike a happy medium and where you get to have hundreds of new classes, but with each new subclass have one or two new spells. So let's look at one example. One of the most heavily requested classes is the Dark Ranger or a Necromancer or even a Bard. With the Dark Ranger, we would have to assign this new subclass to a general class such as the Hunter. The difference would be a Dark Ranger would get a whole host of new couple of spells or racials. For instance, a Dark Ranger would be able to empower all of their spells if they're moving or during a jump. Or Dark Rangers would be able to vanish with the new spell when close to a wall or a tree or a rock. Or finally, a Dark Ranger would be able to use their cloak to summon a distraction. You see, having a subclass and with just a couple interactive spells, you can have access to an entire new interactive way of playing. That isn't your tab target, spam your spells, and stand out of the fire. Subclasses should add a degree of skill involved with your class. So here's some examples as for which classes would possibly become a subclass. But also before that, let's look at the idea. Why subclasses? The point is we don't want to change the throughput. We don't want to have healing and balancing issues. The goal is to add more of an engaging movement, skill level gameplay, and help with the class fantasy. We also want to have a little bit of a balance between the class, specialization, and racials. And we really just want subclasses to feel fun, more epic and engaging. But let's look at each subclass. Here are some examples. Within the warrior, you could possibly have a berserker or a knight. When you choose a rogue, maybe you want to become a spellblade, an alchemist, or a ninja. Or, as we look at death knights, maybe a summoner, necromancer. Under a monk, we could be a bard or an adventurer, hunter, dark ranger, trapper, druid, dreamer, or awakener, paladin, swift advance, judge, shaman, animal spirit, wavemender, priest, exorcist, purifier, warlock, witch, and darkseer. So as we look into these subclasses, it seems that some of these subclasses can interchange with some of the other classes we can look at in the other video. Now let's look at some of the requirements for these subclasses to make sure that they all follow an epic entertainment policy. Subclasses have to be evergreen. You can't taketh away kind of feeling. Subclasses have to not affect the throughput to a degree more than the basic spells that you have already. Rather, subclasses should help with the interactiveness of each class within movement, awareness, or the fun factor of each class. Subclasses should be simple in nature, without too many racial or spells or anything of the sort. Overall, there are plenty of ideas and things easier said than done to go around. But let's all keep an open mind and provide suggestions to maybe help the development team not only keep things fresh, exciting, and give epic entertainment, but rather to also help the development team know what the community really wants in a socially gentle and acceptable way. My ideas don't end there, and I already have tons of video suggestions in mind, from listening to thoughts and suggestions to listing every single subclass in detail, all the way to totally new ideas. If you have a WoW idea, please provide video suggestions in the comments below. But till next time, everybody, keep things epic and game on.